Hello and welcome. Today I'm going to critique how the assessment has communicated the syllabus through the work program. I'll address the inquiry learning model as an educational pedagogy, the assessment and work program's approach to curriculum, the nature and style of the assessment presented, and improvements I feel could have been made. The assessment tasks have been created using the inquiry model demonstrated in the QCAA Visual Arts syllabus, 2007. These steps include researching, developing, resolving, and reflecting. The teachers made clear guidelines in each assessment task for students to follow. He's done this by linking facets of the inquiry model to the key learning objectives. He's also instructed them to use the inquiry model in the process of their making in their assessment. The key objectives enable students to explore and think about their creative process on a deeper level. This is similar to Williams' model designed by Frank Williams. His model is based on the studies of a creative person and process. The process allows students to explore their creative process through exploration, imagination, risk-taking, curiosity, and self-reflection. I want to propose a slight change to the learning objective. It could have been more effective to translate these learning objectives into questions. This change would align more to the inquiry model because the students are directed to higher order thinking through questioning rather than goals that they might just slip by. Questions allow students to think through the process and find an answer to the problem, therefore leading them to inquiry-based thinking. I also feel this inquiry-based model lends itself to a Christian perspective. Inquiry learning allows students to think about their thinking. Students are engaged in this experience where they're guided to explore and create for themselves. They're seen as a person who can learn from him or herself rather than being an empty vessel waiting to be filled with information. This is similar to theorist Paul Freire's Christian-centered theology on the learner. The nature and style of the assessment pieces align with the QCA syllabus criteria. Voila, thank goodness for that. The two making pieces, visual literacy and application, align with the QCA syllabus where it suggests that two concepts and two focuses are an option on page 10. Students are required to use their visual literacy to research, explore, resolve, and reflect on creative process of their making of their art piece. Inquiry learning. This task allows several learning styles to take place, such as visual, kinesthetic, physical, verbal, and solitary. In contrast, two of the appraising tasks are written and exam written, only catering to the verbal and solitary learning styles. What about the rest of them? The third appraising task is an oral, which I think is absolutely fantastic because it caters to the more diverse range of learners: social, verbal, visual, and kinesthetic. The students are able to share their ideas, social, speak with others out loud, verbal, present their ideas with a slideshow, visual, and perform kinesthetic. Not to mention that QCAA suggests a way larger range of assessment options that could have been utilised. To name a few: seminar presentations, debates, interviews with artists, blogs, exhibitions, monologues. These strategies could have been catered to the more diverse range of learners in the classroom, while also addressing the QCAA purpose of visual art rationale. Here we see it specifies that visual arts prepares young people for a future in the workforce. Page 1, QCAA in the rationale. By using a more diverse range of assessment pieces, this could have aligned more to the rationale vision. Students need an opportunity to know what it's going to be like in the workforce. It's no point putting them in this box where they have to do written assessment pieces all the time. They need to expand themselves by doing blogs, doing expeditions, speaking out monologues, having interviews with artists, getting out in the real world and learning what it really means to be an artist. Lastly, I want to conclude and say that I feel from all the research I've gathered that the assessment tasks are in line with the QCA syllabus by work program. However, I do feel there are lots of improvements that could be made. It is also notable to mention that the QCAA follows the socially critical orientation. Why? Because it has an emphasis on social and critical reflection for its inquiry model. The assessment pieces locate and interpret current culture within a historical context, as well as for an immediate process of action and reflection through their assessment piece tasks, and also through the student-based approach, all of which make a socially critical orientation. I appreciate your time, and I thank you for watching. The end.